When we looked around for a resident expert on polio, we know who that is. That's Dr. Darrell Fisher, and he's going to keep that agenda and issue out in front of us. So you want to come forward and share some information?
I think it's okay to lean on this podium. I made this for Rotary in 1985. Gee, Ken Peterson, you're a builder. It's still holding. President Karen, guests and visitors, and all you fortunate Rotarians. How many of you read the Rotarian magazine, which we are very wonderfully able to get? It's a marvelous piece of work, and we had in it this past month a very, very important piece from our International Foundation trustee, Glenn Estes. And I think we should share that because it's very meaningful as we now get into the major fund, hopefully the termination of polio as a disease. On the 24th of October, which is this Sunday, we mark World Polio Day. And I understand that's true because that's 95 years of recognizing the birth of Jonah Salk, who was the developer of the injectable polio vaccine. We later, as you know, got into the Sabin vaccine, which is the oral one, the one you see dropping the drops with all of the current modalities of polio immunization. It is the time to reflect on the progress we've made and to strengthen our resolve for the work ahead. It's time to raise awareness of our efforts to eradicate polio and to help meet Rotary's US $200 million challenge. I'm told, by the way, now that we're now at about $93 million of the challenge from Bill and Melinda Gates made a couple of years ago. We have come a long way. We've reduced the number of polio cases by over 99%. From more than 350,000 a year in 1980 to about 1,650 in 2008. We brought the number of endemic countries from 125 to 4. And we vaccinated over 2 billion children. And that has generally been considered age 5 or less are the ages to get vaccinated. We are proud of these accomplishments, and we are closer than ever to achieving our goal of worldwide eradication. But we must recognize that our greatest enemy is complacency. We cannot slacken our efforts now, because as long as there is wild polio virus anywhere, the disease can easily spread again. The number of cases in endemic countries is down this year, but the number of cases in countries where polio has been reintroduced has increased significantly. A reminder of how polio knows no borders and how vigilant we must remain. Polio is still endemic in Afghanistan, India, Nigeria, and Pakistan. And I tell people to remember that with a little logo PAIN, P-A-I-N, Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, and Nigeria. It's an easy way to remember it. Difficult terrain, civil unrest, remote settlements, poor sanitation, and terrible poverty are just some of the obstacles to immunization. But we and our partners in the Global Polio Eradication Initiative are determined to continue our work with persistence and creativity. I've been inspired, that's Glenn Estes has been inspired, to the incredible strides already made this year. In one 10-day period, a total of 222,270,331 children in 22 countries were immunized against polio. Now, those have been National Immunization Days. The only person in our club that I know was ever working on one of those, I think, was Ray Shemak. Ray, what year was that? Do you remember?
January 2000.
Okay. And those have been tremendous, tremendous things, and they're ongoing now among many of those areas by teams of national immunization donors that go over there and work like Ray did then. The effort and the commitment are phenomenal. This is a testament to the resolve that has brought us this far and that will soon bring us to our goal of complete eradication. That's the end of his statement to us in the challenge, which is in October's Rotarian magazine. He reminds us, as I said, that we've had about $93 million donated as part of the $200 million challenge. We have recently had a recognition of Doug Kern Lee, the 2008-9 Rotary International President, who was honored at the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon with Rotary's Polio Eradication Champion Award. And Ban dedicated the award to 3 polio immunization volunteers who were killed in a suicide bomb attack in Afghanistan in 2008. We're reminded on our rotogram that we have a very important opportunity coming up to consider. Coming on Sunday, November 8th, the Foundation in Cedar Falls for Polio Eradication is hosting a dinner presentation by Dr. Robert Scott, who, by the way, is a physician who's been in charge of polio eradication in the United States in Rotary clubs for at least 20 years. I've talked to him several times. He's a brilliant guy, and I'm glad he's going to be a speaker there. And then, greatly, Itzhak Perlman, our famed violinist, will play at 6:45. And those of you who received your November Rotarian know that he's pictured on the front cover, and a marvelous, marvelous 3-page story about him after he had polio at age 4. Probably the most outstanding recognized violinist now in the world. Anyway, we're looking forward to another fundraiser, which we've decided to have in February. We had one this past February, Valentine's Day, here in this room, and that was a good fundraiser. We've got another one scheduled for Valentine's Day, February 13th, and we can go Rotary. We know that we have committed funds through our annual giving. I think it's, Karen reminded me that it's $12 per year per member for the next 3 years, so that's basically $1 a month for 3 years, and we're off and going to get this job accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you, Darrell, for your dedication to this cause.